Alright, hi guys.
What's up, gang?
This is honestly a bit of an unexpected video. Oh, pause. First and foremost, whatever controversial topics you want me to talk about, or like deep thought-provoking topics, please comment and I'll talk about them later. I always say that at the end, and it's probably better that I should say it at the beginning so you hear it, opposed to the very, very end when my video is long in general. Yeah. We're also outside, cause this is a hard video, sorta, kinda. I also just felt like changing up the scenery. I didn't feel like being inside. I just feel like being outside, looking at trees. Yeah, cause again, like I said, this video is like it's a weird topic. Not for me, but just like in general. Yeah, man. Life, death, it's all weird. It doesn't make any sense. The more you think about it, the less sense it makes. Also, these are clean, by the way. Don't think I'm some dirty ass nigga who just be throwing on clothes. These are clean. There's just paint on them. I didn't want mosquitoes on me, so I threw on a hoodie and sweats, as opposed to the typical beater and shorts that I would have had on. I guess she's comfy. I don't really know where to start, man. It's life and death are like, they're so weird, and it's like, it's so normal, and it's one of those things where it's like, you've seen it, you've had experiences, whether it be a family member, a friend, a neighbor, a pet, like you've experienced death to some degree, but then you've also experienced life to some degree. Obviously, like you being alive, you being here, like you're alive, you're living, you're in the moment, you know what I mean? But then I say experiencing life as in like, I'm assuming you have a little cousin, you might have a little sibling, or a pet, or you have neighbors who have a kid, like, and you experience life because like you see it, right? Obviously, like you experiencing it, or you being alive is experiencing, you know what I mean? Like you being here, me sitting in this chair, I'm experiencing living. I'm experiencing life. I'm going through it. You're going through it. You're experiencing it right now. But it's like, I don't know, something about it, it just like sits different. Like I said, I think I said, I really didn't, like, this probably would have been a video way further down the line in the future, but I'm not even gonna lie. Also, for those of y'all who know me at school, I'm sorry. Some of this shit may just seem like weird as hell because that I just like start talking very deeply about this. But hey, I'm sorry. I think that you should start thinking like this too, and it might help you out. You never know. But done with my side rants. The main stuff. I don't know why, but like low key, as of recently, I don't know why, but my mind's just like been thinking about like life and death and like purpose and meaning just a lot recently, and I really just said like this whole summer, and I don't know why. And I kind of had a moment yesterday. Well, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because it's like what I'm hinting at is like very, very new, so I just need to like sit with these feelings, and then I'll talk about it later. But point being said, something that happened yesterday, and then I was out with my dogs. And I just had like a moment where I just like sat with myself, and then I was kind of like, all right, like what's the purpose for this summer? Like what have I learned this summer? Like reflecting on this summer, what have I done, right? And it was like, when I was thinking about that, this was yesterday. This was literally yesterday at like 7 p.m. by the way. It was kind of just like, I was sitting there, I was at the water park with my dogs, and I was just like thinking, and I was just like, dude, like what's the purpose? I'm not saying that in like a broad sense, like what's the purpose of life? No. It was just like, and it was really because of like something that happened yesterday, and then that had transpired my mind to start thinking in that direction. But I know I'm being so vague, but it's just like, it's really hard on my brain right now, so I'm sorry, we'll get there later, it'll make sense. I forgot my bracelets, I always put my bracelets on. I think I think that you should try. A lot of people get sad when they think about death and they think about life, right? And it is sad, 100%. But I don't think that you should think about it in a sad way. Like people, like funerals, for example. Funerals is about the celebration of life, right? And I agree with that. But I think that no, I agree with that. I agree with that. I just agree. There's really nothing else to it. I agree. Hard agree. Um, but I think that like a lot of people, I feel that you, as you kind of get older, and it depends on like your, what is it? Your, I'm trying to think of the words. I'm trying to think of how to make sense. Like how aware you are in the moment. I feel like that coincides with how you think about life and death. That now, stick with me here. In the last video, I've already said some people will go their whole entire life and they will just work a 9 to 5. They'll get off work, do X, Y, Z. They won't think about the purpose. They won't think about what it means. They won't think about reasoning and life and question things. And we're on a big ass ball in the middle of nothing. Like they don't like think about that, right? But I'm saying I want you to think about that. I think you should. I think it'll help you. It'll make you a better person. But the reason I brought that up is because it's like I feel from a general standpoint, a thing that people do think about in just their regular every single day life cycle. Not every day, but just like a standard thought that you'll have is death. And the standard thought that you'll have with death is probably sad, right? And again, that's just I get sad at funerals. But it's like death is just a sad thing overall, right? But I don't think that you should think about death in a sad manner. It sounds so weird saying it out loud, but like, so I'm an only child. I've said this in previous videos, only child, single parent. So I just have a lot of time, like a lot of my childhood was just like me like thinking, right? And making sure I don't remember like too much because I moved a lot. But point being, only child, single parent, think a lot, right? And I don't know why or like when it like what flipped the switch, but it's like in my life death has always been like prevalent, you know what I mean? Like from, we'll say from, I want to say 8th grade at least, from wait, hold on. Sorry. Yeah. So it's like 8th or 9th grade. We'll just use 9th grade. 9th grade I can think for sure. Since at bare minimum like 9th grade, I've had like at least like every single year 2 people who are very, very close to me pass. Right? And the reason I bring that up is because it's like the more you're around it, the more you just get used to it. As bad as it sounds, but the whole reason I even bring that example up of having family members go, or just people close to me unfortunately pass in general, is because it's like I would just find myself just like thinking. I'd be like, dude, what the hell is it? What's after it? What's the meaning of it? What's the purpose of like why the hell am I alive? How did I get here? Like, and that's shit that like it's just, brother, we just ain't never gonna have answers to it. And that's fine. I think that you should ask yourself those weird ass, super scary, creepy questions, because it's also a reminder to yourself that you're not gonna have the answer to everything ever. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not possible. But the reason I brought it up is because like throughout, I guess you could say like high school. Yeah. Yeah. Throughout high school, like I would just have moments where it's like I'd be just chilling in my room, right? Like I remember one specifically, and this was like one of like the big. I want to say I feel like it might have subconsciously been a big turning point where I started thinking about it more. But just like I just remember one day, I was in my room playing O2 Overwatch, or no, this is O1, technically Overwatch 1. I was just playing Overwatch. This is probably like 11, 12 at night. My dog's on the bed next to me. I'm just in my chair, whatever. And then like out of nowhere, my mind just went in like a rabbit hole of like what's death, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like disassociated hard, like 5 minutes, and then like I just like freaked myself out, like bloodshot, like heart shot out of nowhere, and I was like freaking out. I was like, dude, what the hell's going on? I was like, what just happened? You know what I mean? It was weird. It was terrifying because it was just like you don't know, right? And the reason I say that, I brought that little story, is because I feel like that for me might have been like where it started, right? And the whole premise of this is about life. And without life, you can't have death. And I don't know where I was going to go with that. Sorry. But I think that a way that you should try to like think about it, so it's not like as scary, is like appreciate it. And it's easy to say appreciate it because it's like, yeah, I can tell you to appreciate life, and it's like you might say, oh, well, I do. You know, I'm just one with the environment. You know what I mean? And I would agree, but it's like appreciate it in the sense of think about, like, appreciate life in the sense of thinking about death as it just happens, right? Like me, again, it's a hard understanding, and like for me, like I'm not scared of it. Like it is what it is. Like my goal is to live as long as possible because I want life. You know what I mean? So it's like my understanding is like, brother, when it comes, it comes. Like I've sat there and just thought by myself so many times that I've came to the hardcore understanding of like fam, you're never gonna know. And that's okay. There's so many things out there that we will never have answers to, and that's okay. One of the biggest human innate fears is the unknown. Because we, like the fact that we have such like the consciousness that we do, and we are able to think at the capacity that we do, since we were able to do those things, we've created science. We've allowed deeper levels of thinking. We've allowed we've just formed things, right? And then we've formed thought-provoking questions. But what those thought-provoking questions are, you're not gonna have answers. You know what I mean? And I've done those thought-provoking questions to myself so many times, and just had those moments where I just sit and think by myself so many times, where it's like, it doesn't bother me. I don't, like, yeah, I go to a funeral and get sad, but it's like, if I just sit there and like think about, and it sounds so just like random, but it's just true. If I just sit there and like I'll walk to the gym, and there'll be like, for a random 2 minutes, death will just pop into my mind. I'll be like, well, hey, you're not gonna know the answer to what happens, so move on. And then I just move on, because I've thought about it so many times, and I'm so content with it that it's like, in my mind, it is what it is. So it's like I don't even think about it now. Instead of thinking about it, I now think of life and being in the moment and being present and trying to make the most experiences, right? So it's like another thing. I'm sure you could probably ask like any old person some of their regrets. Girl, lay down. You're okay. I don't even know if you can see her. But I'd say, like, I guess if you were to ask an old person, they'd probably say not being themselves to the fullest, or not trying enough things, or making memories, traveling, having those hard conversations, not talking to certain people, right? But like, to counter that, I'm saying to do those things, to experience it, so you don't have to sit there when you're 90 years old, 70, or however old you'll be, and be like, and you're reflecting it, and you're like, damn, dude, like, you know? Opposed to like, because like, I feel like I know when you get closer to the age, you kind of just think about it more, because it's like, also when you're old, fam, what do? Short story, perfect example, one of the ladies that I work with at school, she's like, I don't know, I guess like 60s, 70s. She was talking about how she wants to start doing stuff. And this really proves my whole point. She was talking to Miss Karen. Love Miss Karen. Love her. She's amazing. She's talking, and she's just like, I want to just like start doing stuff. She was like, I'm getting old. Like, I want a boyfriend. Like, I don't know when the hell I'm finna die. And she was like, it's depressing. I hate thinking about it. And I'm just sitting there, and I was like, damn. I was like, is that what like older people think about? You know what I mean? And like, I don't want you to be like that. I'm not saying, I'm not throwing shade to Miss Karen. I fucking love her. She's amazing. I'd do anything for that woman. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it is in terms of like, I want you to I want you to live. I want you to fully embrace what being alive is. Fully embrace what being in the moment is. Fully embrace what trying to pursue a career is. Trying to create the best future for yourself is. So when you're at Miss Karen's age, you're not in a kitchen at 8 a.m. sad thinking about how you want a boyfriend and how you might just die like next week because you're old. You know what I mean? And like I said, no shade to her. I love her. But I think that that's a difference where maybe when Miss Karen was our age, she didn't think about life truly, or she didn't give it the experience that she wanted to or could have. And again, she's older. She's grown out. She's grandma. So again, you know, what life was like when she was my age, completely different. And, you know, so like, I get that. Because again, today's day and age, I'm assuming you probably like, I don't know, you might be like 15 to 25, I don't know. You have the ability to do majority of what you would want to do. And I'm saying, go do that. So when you get to Miss Karen's age, you're not actively thinking about death. Because that shit's terrifying. Gang, I'm so serious. Actively, like, it's so fucking scary. It really is. And it's scary because you don't know. But embrace the fact that you don't know, gang. Sit in it, soak in it, accept it, and then it makes you so much more content. Like I said, me, for example, I don't care about it. But it's like, instead of me not caring about it, I now think about life and I want to embrace life, right? Actually, here you go. You know my thoughts on death? This is what I think about death. It annoys me. Like the fact that I'm gonna die annoys me, right? And you might be like, that doesn't make no damn sense, right? You wouldn't be sad, freaked out. No, the fact that I know I'm gonna die one day annoys me, because like my self philosophy is I want to create as many experiences as I can. I want to impact as many people as I can. I want to spread as much thought and happiness and meaningfulness as I can. And I know that I'm only going to be given a certain amount of time to do that, right? Now, I know that, and with that, I'm going to make the most of it, because I don't want to be like Miss Karen, and I don't want to be 70 years old thinking about how I could have done X, Y, and Z, right? No, I don't want that, right? So what I'm saying, like I said, that's my, hold on. That's what I was saying. I remember now. Really? Like, it doesn't make me sad. It doesn't bother me. I don't spiral about it now how I used to. Like, I just get annoyed with it, because like I said, I know I'm given a certain amount of time to create these experiences. And like for me, like I get annoyed because I wish I had more. I wish I could live to fucking 300, dude. I don't give a shit about dying. Like I do. I say that now. Like, if I go like next week, I'd be like terrified. You know what I'm saying? But like, the point being is that like, I like for me, I'm annoyed because I know that I have a set amount of time to do what I want to do. I have a set amount of time to where I can create experiences and whatnot, right? And it's like, for me, how it is like I said, I'm an only child, so right, my perception of how I see more than just like one individual is different than how you do, because I look at one person just differently, just because how I see things is it's just been one person. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't look at a pair of siblings the same way you will, just because I've never had a sibling, so I don't understand it all the way. Yeah, I have a cousin who I treat him like my little brother. You know what I'm saying? I have many people that I see as my little siblings, but again, at the end of the day, I don't got blood, right? So it's different. But damn, I don't know where the hell I was going with that. I don't know where I was going to go with that. Experiences and... Oh, yeah, no, I remember where I was going to go now. So, like, my thing is, like, if I look at a group and I look at two individuals, 3, 4, 5, 1, I can't just look at them for in terms of like, oh, this is a group of 5 people. I don't know. My brain just doesn't work like that. My brain sees 5 people, 5 individuals in one setting, not a group of 5. Like, my brain sees like this. My brain sees that there's this many people, right? Well, obviously, like being 5, but they're like separated. Whereas there's just that. This is just, they're all just here. My brain sees them differently, right? And another thing with my like whole, I guess you could call it like self-philosophy and like I said, impacting people, is the reason why I get upset that like with death, and like I said, I would just rather just live to like 300 or whatever, is because it's like I don't care for the amount of people that I affect, right? I do like I'd rather affect obviously like 10 people than just like one person, duh. But it's like my thing is I would rather have like a true 1-to-1 effect on somebody. And that's why, like I said in my example of a group setting, I can't look at a group of 5 people and see this is just one group of 5 people. No, I see 5 different people just so happen to be in the same spot at the same time, right? So like mine is I'm not the type of guy I wouldn't want to do like some big like auditorium positivity talk with like 2,000 people. You know what I mean? Like no, there's nothing against that, but it's like when it's something like that, you can't have a true impact on them. How this can, how me talking to you through a phone can, because it's like, actually no, I lied. It's the exact same fucking thing. And I say I wouldn't like. I would not prefer the 2,000 auditorium, because like for me, my thing is it's like if I can't sit down with you in like a setting and just talk to you on a surface level, I feel like I'm not gonna connect with you, and I'm not gonna impact you, and I'm not gonna benefit your life to some form of degree that I would, opposed to if you were just sitting in a chair, there's a person next to you, there's rows there, and you're looking at a guy with a microphone. You know what I mean? Like with something like that, like you're just sponging because you're just listening. Whereas if it's me and you're sitting right here and we're talking about life, we can like I can go, you know, I can break the iceberg. I can break the layers down. I can go like under the surface and like give meaning to things, right? Whereas like I said, if I'm just talking in a microphone at an auditorium, I can't do that. So like me, my self-philosophy, that's why I'd rather like that's why like with death, it makes me upset because I can't live as long as I would like to, because I would rather, like I said, I would rather make it to 300, and in 300 years, let's say I've met 1 million people. In those 300 years, I would want to add like just, hold on, because I don't know what like a good baseline is. I would like out of like, I would rather have, let's say in 300 years I met 1 million people. I would rather have a true 100% like impactful life conversation with somebody, or like hold on. Yeah, okay. I would rather like meet, I lied, we're just gonna go back to my 10-to-1. I know I said I'd rather affect 10 people, but 10 people is different because again, that'd be a group setting, and it's like, yeah. I'd rather, it's just like I said, dude. I'd rather just affect people just one-on-one. I'd rather, like, I just want to touch your soul, bro. I just want to help you as a human, as an individual, as a character. I wanna help you experience what living is. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, fuck a group setting. I don't want 10 people there. I don't even want to meet 1 million people. I mean, I would. That'd actually be pretty damn cool. But it's like, if I, in 300 years, if I meet 1 million people, I would hope that I can at least affect one of them, at bare minimum, one of them, to where they look deeper than the surface, where they think, where they actually question themselves, where they question if they're happy, where they question if their life is what they want to live, so they can improve their state of being happiness, and they can improve the way that they want to live. You know what I mean? And then they can create experiences, and then they'll be old and they won't look back on it. Like, that's what I want to do. And I think that is what like living is, opposed to like, if you just sit there and think about like death, then like what even is there to think about? You know what I mean? Like, truthfully, like, when you think about death, what are you thinking about? Nothingness. What happens? What's it like? What's it like? Is it empty? Like, you know what I mean? It's when you think about it, it literally doesn't even make sense, right? And I will say, that's what makes it terrifying, truthfully. But just forget it. Move on. Think about it, and then be like, oh well, I'm not gonna know. And then start thinking about how you can do X, Y, and Z to improve. How you cannot be like Miss Karen. And like I said, I love Miss Karen. She's great. But I think that if you create experiences, or I think you should create experiences, as many as you can. And I think you should try to, well, I lied. I was going to say you should try to affect as many people as you can, but your philosophy, your life philosophy is different than mine. Like I said, that's mine. But, like, for my sake, I just want to have as many true, impactful, like, wholeheartedly human connections as possible. There we go. That's where I was gonna go. If I met 1 million people and only 100,000 of them are real, I'm fine with that. I only want to be friends with 100,000 people. In 300 years of living, if I only know 100,000 people that are authentic, I'm fine with that, because I know at the end of the day, those are real, true, authentic people that I can impact, that understand deeper than the surface level, who don't just wake up and like, all right, time to go to work. They're like, okay, I want to do something. I want to enhance my way of living, so when I'm old, I don't have any regrets. I think that's what it means to be alive, is living everything to the fullest, so when you're old, you don't have regrets, so you don't look back when you're when your grandma, or when you are a grandparent and one of your grandkids gives you a photo booth, and you start like looking at pictures and you're like, damn, I wish I did this differently. No, I want you to be the grandparent that when your kid gives you a photo booth for a Christmas present, you look at it and smile and like, oh dude, I'm so happy I did this. I'm so happy I met this person. I'm happy. They may have been a bitch, but you know what? They're kind of cool. I'm happy they were in class next to me, even though I didn't like them. You know what I mean? I want that for you. I think that you need to embrace everything that you have, because like when you don't embrace what you have, I think that's when you start to like just things just pass by. You know what I mean? Like the perfect example of this is rich people. Billionaires are stupid depressed, and that's because they literally have everything they want. There's nothing for them to like desire or strive or reach towards or progress towards. And I think that's also something that goes into living. Is like when you have goals and you have things that you strive to and you want to get towards, that like it just makes everything that much more. You know what I mean? Also, like I don't know where I was gonna go with my millionaires example. I was gonna like talk about like homeless people, sort of, kind of, just in terms of like appreciating things, but I don't remember all the way. Yeah, man. I also think that you should try to be healthy. Now, this is from an exercise science standpoint, so this is a little off track, but I think that you should really care about your health too. Because the more that you care about the health, the more years you get to live, the more experiences you get to make, the more people you get to make, the more money you get to have, the more fun you can do, the more traveling. And it's like, it's taking care of yourself too, man. That's really all like being healthy is, just taking care of yourself. It's literally like, I'll tell people, and it's so easy. All it is you're literally adding years to your life by being healthy. Like, my mother, and if you're watching this, Mom, I love you. And you know I've told you this numerous times. Being healthy increases your lifespan. Just saying. Like, I'll tell people, and it's like, you eat junk food and you stay in the house, or you just don't do anything. You're just lazy and, like, I don't know. You're just shortening it. All you're doing is shortening it. I kid you not. Start going on a run every morning, dude. You just added like 3 years. You don't even know it. Just start going on a run every morning for like, I don't know, a month, 2 months. Start eating better for like 2 months. You literally just added like 5 years to your life. You don't even know it. You would have never guessed. I would have never guessed. But all it is being healthy and caring for yourself. And then something as little as being in the present and taking care of your health in the present time is going to affect your future. But affect your future in terms of, one, you have an understanding of what being healthy is like. But two, the main part is you get to create more experiences. You get to live more life because you cared about your current health. And it's like, I mean, that's another thing that goes into like living your life. Brother, you got to be aware about yourself. Being aware with yourself and being in tune with one, like, that also goes into, you know, living, like, questioning yourself. I'm pretty sure I've said this in another video too, and I'll probably make one about this like later, maybe, I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. But like, questioning yourself and asking yourself what your experiences mean, you know what I mean? And that'll just like help you understand yourself even more and learn more. And then you can just, once you learn, you can spread what you learn and just give insight, dude. Like, life is so weird, bro. It really is. It makes no fucking sense at all, bro. It doesn't. Like, I talked to one of my friends about it, like, probably like sometime last month. You can't explain to me and make it make sense how the hell we went from ooga booga cave paintings to damn a plane, something that travels absurdly fast, that can take us across a globe, that can take me from damn Texas to China in 20 hours. When, like, but we were ooga booga cave painting. How the fuck does that make sense? Like, brother, nothing about life makes sense. But I think the fact that it doesn't make sense is what makes it amazing. And I think that you should embrace that. Like, one of my tattoos is the word ineffable. And ineffable basically means something is of such profound beauty, or like such great beauty that like you can't really perceive it, or you can't really think of a word to explain it, right? And that's how I feel about life. The tattoo is red. It was supposed to be green, but that's because I told the lady red on accident. But that's, anyways, that's what ineffable means, right? And that's how I feel about life and earth, and just like, that's how I feel about living. Is it makes so little sense, but it's so beautiful that it doesn't make sense. It, like, being alive is so amazing and just like just great, and just beautiful, that it doesn't even make sense how great it is. You know what I mean? And I think, like, if you embrace that, like, that's just, it'll literally just improve you and your way of living, and your mental fortitude, and just like everything, just 1% more. You'll get 1% better if you just like understand. I don't know. And that's another thing about, like, I don't know. This is where, like, I just try to live, dude. Is because like literally just the word ineffable. It's so beautiful that it doesn't make sense. It can't be perceived. You can't, like, we cannot perceive the fact, like, we can, but we truly can't. We can't perceive the fact that we are one person on a massive ball that is in the middle of nothingness, with other massive balls that are, but they're made out of gas and liquid and just nothingness, but they're also hot as like that doesn't make sense, like at all. And then all of those create like one big area, but then there's also like a million other big areas that are the exact same thing, but then all of those create one more thing, and then there's more, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about like planet, and then we're in a solar system, which is in a galaxy, and then there's other planets in other solar, like, yeah. That doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. I know science is real. Science, you can't explain it though. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, science can't explain it. I'm not a damn scientist. I'm an exercise science major. But you get the point. It's just that, like, it just doesn't make sense. You can make it make sense, but at the end of the day, to me, sorry, twin, it still doesn't. But I think that the fact that it doesn't make sense is the fact that that's what makes it so amazing. That's what makes it, like, because it doesn't make sense, that makes me want to go do that much more. It makes me want to be a better person. I want to live more and create more experiences because of the fact that it doesn't make sense. Yeah. All right. Well, I also wanted to say, like I said, this, like, death and everything was just kind of been on my mind. Or I don't know if I did say that, actually. The whole reason I just made this video is because death it's just been, like, on my mind recently. And I don't know why. I kind of, like, have some ideas, but, like, truthfully, like, deep down inside, like, I don't know. Short story short, my grandma passed away from breast cancer my senior year. Fast forward, my mom's, like, closest, like, best friend has it, right? And she's been doing chemo, doing everything well. She seems like she's doing fine. She lost her hair, which sucks, but she don't give a damn. She's rocking that shit fucking loud and proud, being bald. She don't give a fuck. But I feel like because it's how, like, my grandma passed from breast cancer and my mom's best friend has it too. I feel like my brain's, like, intertwining them, and that's kind of why I'm thinking about it a little bit. But it's also really just, like, I've kind of just made this because it's just been on my mind so heavy, and I don't know why, that I just, like, just talking about it and just pressing record, I just knew it would help me. You know what I mean? And I think it should help you too. You should do the same. I actually have a lot of other videos in my phone where I would just, I'd have a long day, or then I would just go on campus somewhere and then literally just press record. Some of those are kind of old, like over a year old, and I look vastly different. So they may or may not get posted. We'll see, but it just depends. But yeah, I think that's, like, my brain, like, ever since my mom told me that, my brain's kind of just subconsciously been, like, thinking about it here and there, and maybe that's why it's been on my mind, like, so much this summer. But at the same time, like, I don't know. What happened yesterday, like I said, which I'll get into whenever I'm ready to talk about it. I know that's played into it. Nobody died, by the way. Let me say that. I didn't lose anybody, so don't, like, start feeling, like, sad for me. No, like, nobody passed away. It was just me and my mom. I just had, like, a tough conversation yesterday, and it kind of just sat with me. So that's all it was. Or we had a grown person conversation. It kind of just sat with me. So that's what it was. I'm fine. Ain't nobody died. I'm all good. But yeah, our pool just made a weird sound. Probably something with the pump, or I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, it was kind of just like, I knew for me, talking about it out loud, hearing myself express things, just sitting down, pressing record would help for sure. And it has. I feel really good now. I don't know how much time's passed, but I do feel better talking about it. And I think that, like, I think for you also, if you don't, which I hope that you do, if you don't already, talk to your friends about your problems. You know what I mean? Because it just helps, man. It really just helps. And it's like, you may not know it too, but you probably got some smart ass friends. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You probably got some smart ass friends, and you might not know it. Like, your one homeboy who you may think is just, like, flat up, like, oddball, he probably smart as hell. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I know some people who it's like, you meet them, let's say you hang out with them 10 times, you would get an understanding of how they are. But then it's like until you have a serious conversation with them, you're like, oh shit. You're like, you like, you don't think about it for real. Like when you have a serious conversation, then that's when you're like, oh shit, like hold on, like where you come from? You know what I'm saying? So I think that like whatever you got going on in your mind, bruh, talk to your friends about it. Talk to yourself about it. Do like I'm doing. Sit down, press record. Even if it don't go anywhere. Like I said, I got a bunch of videos from last year that have went nowhere. You know what I mean? And it's like, it just helps. You're experiencing thought more. You know what I mean? Like you're experiencing thought more than just like in your internally. You know what I mean? Because like you can go on a walk after something made you frustrated and you can think, yeah. But I feel like when you externalize it and vocalize it, that's when you like, I don't know, it just like putting thought into words just hits differently. You know what I mean? And that's surface level stuff. But it's just like talking to your friends, same thing. When you hear them express something, it hits differently because again it's verbalized. But then also again, when you don't, like you probably got some smart ass friends, so when they spit some knowledge that you ain't never thought about before, you're like, damn, and then you just think even more. And I think that's great. Yeah. I think I ran out of brain power. That's all I got. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys. You have a good day.